Yo, what's good, Panther Nation? Welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands. I am your favorite armchair GM, CJ.
And I am your favorite couch scout extraordinaire, Tony. Come on one time.
What's
Y'all know
going
what
on?
it
How you doing,
is.
cuz? I told you about that
Man, I
mess. Now
can't.
you better say what it is.
Hey, I figure if I didn't say it, I won't mess it up. So you can kind of use your own imagination. You know what I mean? So hey, it is what it is. But nah, I'm good,
Good.
man. Just trying to shake a little honey from the tree. That's all.
I hear
You
you.
know,
I love you.
see what these Panthers
So,
gonna do in rookie mini camp this week.
I hear you. And now you keep leaving it for the imagination. Don't get mad when somebody say something now.
Oh, nah, nah. Hey, they can't say anything worse than what's already been said. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all
I
right,
see,
all
I
right.
see, I see Dylan in the house, so he liable to say
Uh-huh.
anything.
Yeah. Hey, and I just want to say, everybody, I apologize for the delay. I'm having some technical issues on my end. Bad storm through the Charlotte area. If y'all are, live in the area, y'all know what I'm talking about. So I apologize. And
Yeah,
then I'm on call at work, so I had to shoot over to one of our buildings real quick and try to hightail it back here, and I was a little late. So I appreciate y'all for sticking with us. And again, I apologize for the technical difficulties, but we here now. We here now. Tony,
yeah, yeah.
what's good with you, man? You see our title tonight with talking about cap issue. Okay, are
Yes,
the
sir.
Panthers strapped for cash? All right. So what how do you feel overall about the cap situation for the Carolina Panthers right now?
Um, well, we don't have much cap space. Yeah, that's why I was laughing at Dylan, man. Told you, hey, just leave it up to him, man. Just leave it up to him. Hey,
Oh
but
God.
right now, cap wise, if you're just looking at the sheer number, 8.9 million, in cap space. I think we like 22nd ranked team in the league right now as far as available cap space.
Mhm.
Um I guess the main thing is making sure that we have enough to sign our drafted players, undrafted free agents. I think most of those are already signed, when they make the agreement after the draft and they choose their destination where they want to go because basically as an undrafted free agent they get to pick and choose where they want to go. And I guess a
Mhm.
lot of those things are in writing before they even you know, show up for camp or put their name on the dotted line, let me say that. Um
Okay.
You know, well, I don't know. What about you? I don't want. I ain't want to. You know,
Oh no, no,
continue
you
on.
good.
Continue
We we
on.
we gonna we
Yeah.
gonna get into that here in detail in a minute. First off, if you're new, welcome. We appreciate you joining us, and if you would be so kind, hit that subscribe button for us. Check us out on all social media at Two Fans in the Stands and over on X. We call it Twix. That's a mixture of Twitter and X. You can find us at Two Fans ITS. And let me do what I usually do here and go back through the comments. Rock Jones to drop
Yeah.
that beat, cousin. Yeah, we I was still trying to make
What's
sure I
going
get
on,
on
Rock?
here, so we appreciate you. What's up, Doug? What's going on? He said we here late night show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This hunky
Already.
dory said just pulled in the driveway 20 minutes ago. I hear you. I hear you. All right. Let me see me get down here. Antonio McClenaghan, like, subscribe, and share the stream, please. Yes, thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. All right.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Uncle Quan in the building. What's up, rich homie, Uncle Quan? Right.
What's going on, Quan?
Chilling. Fellas. Kevin Thompson, he said, hey, I want to talk about Miles Sanders because I'm not understanding why we release him. I'm not understanding the hate. I know he had a rough year last year, but touches, health, coach, and coaching matter. And you know what? We're going to get into that here in a minute, too.
Yeah, we'll touch
We're going to
on
get into
that.
that to a
Yeah.
minute. All right. And Tony said, keep pounding Panther Pride. Let's go. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go. Then our boy
Already.
Dylan, he said he milking cows. Oh,
he never
Tater. Hey,
fails
how you
me,
doing,
dog.
man?
He never fails me. What's
Never
going on,
fails.
Jelly?
Never fails. Never fails. Okay. Now, one thing I want to do here. Let me share my screen here because I am extremely unprepared at the moment. Right. Okay. So now I got Spot Track up, and I apologize for the random ads that may show up on here. Y'all, please forgive me. But right now, the Panthers are at $8 million in cap space. Okay, we're sitting at $8 million. Now the question that I have, because we've gone through this before, and you got people like Taylor Moton, Austin Corbett, I think like Shy Tull and a few more guys, according to Spot Track, you can restructure their contracts. But my question is, what's going on right now that they haven't done that already? You get what I'm saying? Like, why is it
Yeah,
taking so long? Because now I think we're in a good spot to sign our free agents. Not free agents, but our draft picks. And let me bring up another screen here and hold on. Change. No, it does not. Okay.
he
Hold on
didn't
one
say be
second, y'all. I'm
careful of them draws ads.
sorry. All right, let me go and share another screen here. Okay. So this is what Spot Track has as the calculator for the Panthers 7 draft picks. All right. And they got us right now of spending a total of $7.3 million on our draft picks. And as you can see here, they got the Panthers picks highlighted. So that was Leggett. So his estimated contract for next year would be like $2 million. Okay. Um, let me
Okay.
see. Our second round pick, Jonathan Brooks, $1 million. Third round, you get down to who did we pick up in the third round? Or did we get we had
Yeah, we got there around Trevin Wallace, the linebacker in
okay.
Kentucky.
Okay, well, you know what? Spot Track doesn't have us having a third round pick, so these numbers might be a little off. All right, might be a little off,
Yeah.
but even still, though, I think the Panthers are going to have to do something to free up some more cap space. Okay. Right. At this point, I don't think we have enough cap space. Like I said, you have contracts like Taylor Moton and Austin Corbett, Shy Tuttle. That I think are candidates for for a restructure, especially Taylor Moton. I think according to Spot Track, if we restructure Taylor Moton's contract, I think frees up about $8 million. And I think if they would to renegotiate, do some kind of extension, or whatever, it would probably free up a little more money than that. So let me go ahead and get this off the screen here. And Tony. So um another question I want to bring up too. A lot of people are talking about Stefon Gilmore. He's going to be kind of a wait and see, especially as far as the cap go. So they have this one slide here that I was able to put together. And according to Joe Person of the Athletic, said there has been no movement towards a new deal between the Panthers and free agent Pro Bowl cornerback. All right. Person also, and I got this off of Panthers Wire, and the person also noted a few road bumps that could prevent the reunion, including Gilmore's age, 34, his off-season labrum surgery, and the team's limited cap space. All right.
Mm,
Then you had Dan Morgan. So he said that, first off, they're really excited about Shao Smith Wade. So Morgan replied when asked about Gilmore on April 27th. He can play inside, he can play outside. So we like his versatility. He's good on special teams. I think he's a guy that can really contribute and make us better. So I think obviously every position we're going to look to improve, not just the corner position. But he also went on to say that he's not closing the door on bringing back Stefon Gilmore as well. So there's from
right.
what I'm getting from Dan Morgan, there's still an option to bring it back. So I'm guessing they're still working on something maybe in the background. But but does this by Joe Person, does it make you feel any better or make you feel, kind of and a little worse about our chances of bringing Gilmore back?
Well, one thing I didn't know he had off-season labrum surgery. So of course, that's going to be concerning for anyone. You mentioned his age. He is 34. So it just is up. It almost feels like when we got him from New England the first time, and he was still recovering from that. I think that quad injury that he had then. This is the time of your career where a lot of those nagging injuries, or some of those nagging injuries that you had early on, start to catch up with you. Labrum surgery is no small feat, especially for a cornerback, and at that age. So me and Doug was talking last night, and I was like, it may
Mhm.
be one of those situations where, with Stefon Gilmore, it's not necessarily a a rush right now to get him signed. I know everybody wants to hear that we signed him or know about the signing if it's at all possible, but I think there's other things in the forefront that needs to be taken care of first. But like I said, I didn't know about the labrum surgery. Um, the limited cap space, I'm not really too concerned about limited cap space because they always can make the numbers work if they want to make it work. You know what I'm saying? So as
Right.
far as having the money to sign our draft picks, our undrafted free agents, or whatever, player we may or may not claim off the waiver wire, because we do have the first position on the waiver wire through week 4 of the season. So if they want to make the numbers work, they can make the numbers work. So I'm never too concerned with that. So, but yeah, to answer your original question, it gives me a little cause to pause. Especially talking about that shoulder surgery. So that kind of leaves you to believe, even if you did sign him, will he be ready for training camp or for a week 1 of the season? And it may also, I'm pretty sure it plays a part in why you haven't heard of him signing with any other team.
Mhm.
What you think? How
Okay.
how does it make you feel when you hear what Joe Person said?
I don't know. Part of me hopes it's just kind of a smoke screen, and that maybe they do have something potentially worked out, or they have like a gentleman's agreement, per se, and they're like, okay, we're going to bring you in, but we got to do this by this timeline, and then we'll make sure we go ahead and get everything done. Like maybe they're
Right,
going through and like we're speculating now and trying to see, okay, exactly who can get a restructure. Okay, because other than Derek
right,
Brown, I don't really see anybody on the roster that's going to get like a contract extension, right? And that brings me to another point, because there are a lot of players on this roster who are on 1 year deals or the last year of their deal. Um, Person like
right.
Deontay Johnson and chat, y'all let me know this as well. What do you think would be the odds, or if there's any chance in hell that the Panthers may, um, try to work out some kind of a contract with Deontay Johnson? Maybe an extension, like they did with Derek Brown, free up some money in the first year, and then kind of how they do, they start paying him on the middle and the back end of the contract. Like I said, we just bought him over in a trade, and he may not want to stay here. The Panthers may want him to not necessarily prove himself, because I mean he is a good wide receiver, but do you think there's any chance that they may be thinking about trying to work an extension with Deontay Johnson?
That could be a possibility. Because right now I think he's a $10 million cap hit because he had 1 year left on his current contract in Pittsburgh, and it was like $10.4 million. So if you do extend him, it will help spread out the cap hit over the term of the contract. So that's a possibility. I don't know. of course, we don't have no way of knowing what their thinking is right now as far as want to extend Deontay Johnson. I mean, it makes sense when you look at it number wise, but
Mm,
I believe that this is also a prove it year for Deontay Johnson, and typically in those prove it years, they're not doing extensions. You know what I'm saying? They want to see
okay.
that you're worth giving that extension to. You know, like I said, it didn't do him any favors as talented as he is to come over or to be traded from Pittsburgh and having some of those negative thoughts about you out there, you know, in the ether. So, you know, you never know. But just from a number wise,
Yeah.
just you know, in my opinion, it would make sense to do it. But like I said, again, I believe they know that I believe there are ways to get things done if and when they decide to get it done. So I don't think it's a problem on that end. But the only thing that really scared me right now is that labrum surgery. I've torn both of my labrums, you know, the left shoulder and the right shoulder,
Okay.
and I had um preventive surgery on the left shoulder just like what 3 years ago to clean up some calcium deposits
Mhm.
and things like that. So I know all about having that labrum surgery, and it is a major surgery and it's no fun.
Mm. Okay. I bet. I bet. All right. Now let me go ahead and bring this back up again real quick. All right. So now with talking earlier about people who were maybe eligible for restructures, because right now we are at $8 million. So if we would go down here, and this is on over the cap. So we got Taylor Moton here. All right. So we're not going to cut him, but just say we restructured his contract. All right. Say we save $8 million. Okay. Another
Mm,
one. Let me see. Shy Tuttle. Okay. They another restructure. We save $2 million. Austin Corbett. We
2.8
can save
was
another.
that 2.8
Yeah, we can
almost
save
three
another.
million?
Yeah, no, 2.68. Um, and
Okay,
then on
2.68.
Austin, 3.4 million. So if we submit this, submit that, submit that one. Okay, now this is all hypothetical here, people. This is just us trying to do this on over the cap. But you get your cap space up to 22 million. All right. So then you say you spend about 7 million to sign the free agents. Not sorry, the draft. I keep saying free agents, the damn draft picks. You say 7 million to sign the draft picks. It might be a little more than that because on here they did not have Trevin Wallace in that list. So you think you may have enough money to bring in a Stefon Gilmore because if I'm not mistaken, his last contract when he was here, Panthers paid him 6 million and some change for that year, and I think he got I think it was like a 7 million, $7 to $8 million contract with the Cowboys last year. I could be wrong, but I think that's what he got. But and it
Hmm.
may be a situation where they can free up some money and bring him in here. But if he's coming off his surgery and everything works out for the best, me, I say let's go ahead and bring him in, and see what he can do. If nothing else, he provides a lot of experience and knowledge that he can pass on to some of the corners that we have on the roster now. Yeah.
But
Hold on one second,
okay,
y'all.
so you say that, but if you were to bring him in, and again, we have no way of knowing this, but what would be his value? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we've
Hmm.
always talked about the player typically always wants more than what the player is worth to the other 32 teams or even his current team, because you're gonna always think you're worth more than what they're trying to pay you. But when you factor in the age, the current injury, you know, things of that nature, the team will use that to devalue you, but the player won't use that to devalue to devalue themselves because they're going to look back at what have I done over the course of time in this league. And we all know the NFL is a right now league. What have you done for me lately? So you may be
Mm-hmm.
thinking, well, my resume of 10 to 12 years should outshine, should shine enough to warrant me getting, I'm just throwing this out there, say 10 million a year. But your age
Mm-hmm.
and your current injury may only be warranted to say 5 million a year. So now you got a 5 million difference of what a player think he should be paid and what the team feel like you're worth. So that I guess that's where you have to come together and come to that common ground and make it make sense for both parties. You know what I'm saying? It has to make
Mm-hmm.
sense for the player, but also has to make sense for the team because at the end of the day, don't get it twisted. The team is always trying to pay you the lowest they can, and the player is always trying to get the most he can. So,
Facts.
where's the happy median? Is the gap here or is the gap here? You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that, like I said, that that's for the Panthers front office to work out, to work through. And I'm like you, regardless of what, I think his value of being on the team as opposed to not being on the team is more beneficial for us than against us.
Okay. I got you. I got you. Now, Mr. Hunky Dory had a question here. He said, question CJ, can players refuse restructuring? Is it a possibility this may be happening? Absolutely. I think the team will present them with the restructure, but they do not have to
Hmm.
sign it just because they're presented with it. Okay. I think people athletes doing restructuring are doing the teams a favor per se. Now, mind you, I know they're gonna make sure
Right.
they get their money. They may turn part of it into a signing bonus, which doesn't go against the cap, and things like that,
Hmm.
prorated for us that, next year or the year after, depending on how many years they got left on their contract. But yeah, no, I do not believe they have to accept the restructure if one is presented to them, and that could possibly be what's going on right now. It could.
But typically in those restructures, you still getting the same money, you just getting it in a
Hmm.
different way. So you're not losing anything, typically, especially if they coming to you and they asking you to restructure your contract because we need certain amount of money in cap space, or we're trying to do, XYZ to make sure we get said player. Because
Hmm.
I think we've already restructured Taylor Moton like twice. I don't know if it's been
At
twice
least
on this
once.
current
Yeah.
contract. Yeah, at least once. So,
Hmm.
you know, it's like they say about kicking that can down the road. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
You're just trying to stretch that cap number out as long as you can, but at the end, that dead money is what catches up with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
Hmm.
dead money will
That's
catch up
like
with you sooner or later. You have to pay the piper.
Yeah, and that's why you have the pre-June first cut or post-June first cut, because if you cut somebody pre-June first, you take all that dead cap money hit in this current year. If you cut them
Right.
post-June, I think it's spread out over at least two
Two
seasons, I
years.
believe. Okay,
Yeah, two
got you. 2 years.
years.
All right, cool. All
Mm.
right. Native said, who else is available at cornerback in free agency? I don't know, but I don't know if oh, hold on, here we
Adoree
go. Here
Jackson
we
is
go.
still out there.
Okay, Doug says
Yeah.
Xavier Howard, Dory Jackson, Steven Nelson, J.C. Jackson, and Patrick
J.C.
Peterson.
Jackson.
Okay,
See,
all right.
leave that up there for a minute. See, a lot of
Mhm,
time, especially at this time in the season, where the season haven't even started. But you got a lot of veteran guys, and they're waiting to see what happened in mini camps and training camps and OTAs and things like that with other players. And they may just be waiting to see, who would need me more than I need them. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Because they
yeah,
come like a Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard is a made man in the NFL. He's not in no rush to sign or do anything. You know what I'm saying? So to maximize his to maximize his asking price, he's going to wait and see. um, who needs him, who has a shortage at cornerback due to injuries and things like that, or even come to production. You know, you may come in there, mini camp or whatever, training camp, and be like, okay, you know what, we're not getting what we thought we were going to get out of these cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Let me dial up a Xavier Howard and see if he's still available. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
some of these
fact.
guys, they're out there. The reason that they're out there isn't because they can't play and don't nobody want them. These guys are just waiting for better offers. You know what I'm saying? They playing the long game. They using whatever leverage that they have left remaining.
Okay. Gotcha. Hey, and look, Antonio said, just know we have first dibs. Miss Hunky Dory said first
That's
dibs
right.
better than sloppy seconds. He said, get in what you want and leave the stuff you don't want for others. Yep. He said, I agree.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't have any
basic.
attachments to anyone. Yep. Sure don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I before we get into this next set, I didn't want to spend the whole, a lot of time talking about the cap. Let me drop the link in here. Um, Anybody wants to pull
But
up in
before
the
you,
chat, talk with us.
but before you do that, CJ, how does the current cap situation, how does that affect you? Well, what do you think about it? Let me say that, not affect you, but what do you think about it? Do you think it's a cause for concern, or you feel like at the end of the day they'll work it out?
I do believe they'll work it out. I don't have any cause for concern because I think they have right now, on the roster who they want to have on the roster. I think if they want, like you said, if they want to work something out, they can work something out. And to be able
Yeah,
to, like you said, if okay, well, you know what, such and such ain't working out. This ain't what we thought it was, or this isn't what we thought it was. And they have some money to go out there and bring somebody else in. But as we saw last year, Evero, especially on defense, he did what he had to do with what he had. And I think the Gilmore situation is a byproduct of JC Horn's, injury history. And we call him injury prone because he's had injuries every year, but a couple of those have just been kind of freak accidents. And especially like the Jeremy Chin one, that was friendly fire. So if he can just,
right.
lucky and make it through this entire season, we may be good. But Gilmore is, he's a solid corner. Okay, he'll probably be a number one corner still on a lot of teams whose secondaries are trash. But JC is our number one corner. Stefon Gilmore come in and be number two because another question that I and probably a lot of people in Panther Nation have, Dane Jackson. You know, right now he's slided to be the number two cornerback. Okay, but what's our comfortability level in him being number two? And even still, what if JC Horn goes down? Now he's our number one cornerback, and then you got Troy Hill in the slot, and then you have a rookie who's probably going to be manning that number two spot. Okay, because the Smith Wade kid, everybody talks about him as a nickel, but when he went to the Senior Bowl, he played outside most of the year, but when he went to the Senior Bowl, he played in the nickel, and everybody was kind of not in awe, but they were impressed with what he did playing out of the nickel spot. So
Hmm.
again, we'll see. There's just a couple spots on this, especially on the defense, where I feel like some of these groups are one injury away from being like, we were that close, but now it's not going to be the same. It's going to be a big hit, but we shall see. Okay, so let me get the
Well, this
comment
this
here.
is
Go ahead.
Xavier Howard would be a great addition, but he probably asked for around 12 million. Yeah, he would be a great addition.
Much.
That would definitely be that veteran presence that you're looking for in that cornerback room. Um,
Hmm.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, it's all good. And Mama always said if it's important, it'll come back to
Yeah. No, yeah,
you.
it was about the cornerbacks, but going back to Shaw Smith Wade, you talking about someone that played 95% or better on the outside. And the first thing that you see when you talk about his height and size, the first thing people want to do is say, "Oh, he's just a nickel." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That as if he's not big enough to play on the outside. And I understand, there's a prototypical size that most people look for in the outside corner. Okay. But and you can't argue with the production that he had playing on the outside. When you take someone, if you take someone that is technically sound, that can be technically sound, and just from what we've seen from him on highlights, is he's a technically sound cornerback. He has good feet,
Mm-hmm.
twitchy. He's very patient. You know, things that you have to play the cornerback position. I don't have no doubt that he can play outside. I think it's a plus that he did play nickel at the Senior Bowl and he thrived in it. And now,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where, because you didn't see him play a lot on TV because he was out in the Pac-12 or whatnot. People didn't know anything about Shaw Smith
Back
way
to
until the
them.
Senior Bowl. So the first time, yeah, two pack. So the first time they ever saw him was in the Senior Bowl. He was playing the slot, but
Mm-hmm.
he's a pretty good outside corner. So
Okay.
but having that versatility to go inside and out, that's always a plus. It's always a plus to have that versatility in a player. So you never know where you
Okay.
may end up at.
All right, cool, cool, cool. Okay, so we're going to jump into another topic here that I didn't originally plan on talking about this week until the news broke the other day that we signed another running back. All right, so I'm going to bring Mr. C. Dougie from What's Up, Doug, on the screen. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, fellas? Before I do anything, how many we got in the chat, Tony? I only need to know a number.
About 43.
Yeah,
43.
about 43.
I already know we don't got
Mm-hmm.
43 likes. So before we even dive into it, y'all already know what we about to do. Slide over to the right, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button for us, share the live. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Again, the two fans in the stands, the big cousins, doing a great night live on a late night, and definitely enjoying Panther Talk, man. So y'all go ahead and do them a favor. Hit that like button for them if you're enjoying the show tonight.
Sir,
Yes,
appreciate you,
sir.
Yes, sir. We
appreciate you.
really appreciate
Okay,
that.
so
What's
let
going
me
on,
add
Doug?
this.
Chilling, man. Chilling, man. Chilling.
Oh,
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
before I'll say this. Prayers up to everybody because this storm that's about to hit the south. Please
Mm-hmm.
be safe. We already underneath a tornado warning here. I mean, tornado watch here. But please be safe, man. I heard it storm bad and Shaw. I just want everybody to be safe, man. Go ahead,
It
CJ.
did. And the crazy thing was the storm.
Did he freeze up?
yeah. I think that the internet is
Yeah, he told me about it with the
playing
storm.
tricks on
Yeah.
them. Yeah, yeah. But look,
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
you
My
back?
bad.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm still
No,
having some
you good.
technical difficulties. Yeah, but because I saw everything go black for a second. But yeah, that storm came through, and I still think it was messing with my internet right now. But
Mm.
yeah. Oh, and I wanted to say this too, real quick. Let me take this off the screen. One of our subscribers, Steve, and I think his last name is Hager. He was with us last
Yeah, I
week, and he
believe.
told
Yeah,
us that yeah, he was um he just getting out of the hospital from brain surgery. Okay. And as somebody who has had that same procedure, I just wanted to make sure that we did shout him out tonight. And I just want to let you know, Steve, if you're listening, buddy, we've been praying for you, praying for your recovery. And again,
yes,
just make
sir.
sure you keep doing everything the doctors tell you to do. And like I said before, if you can reach out to us, if you need anything and we can help you, we got you. Okay. But I just wanted to mention that when you brought up prayers, and that was something that I was
Mhm.
going to make sure that I talked about on here. But Steve, if you out there, if you're listening, buddy, we're praying for you. And pray for a speedy recovery. Okay.
Hey CJ,
Mr.
Already.
let's
Hunky
also shout out.
Dory. Yeah.
Hey, let's shout out
Hey,
Elaine.
brothers.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Let's shout out Elaine from Panther Spirit.
Oh,
He has brain surgery
yes.
tomorrow. He has brain surgery tomorrow. I did
Yes.
not want to interrupt
Oh
you, but
wow.
yeah, he has brain surgery
No,
tomorrow.
you
So let's
good. You
keep him
good.
in your prayers as well. So
Yeah.
Yes,
Prayers up
I
to
saw
Elaine,
that
man.
on I saw that on Quan's live last night,
mhm.
but I was messing around. I think the live ended before I could get in and make a comment to wish him well.
Mhm.
So, if
Mhm.
anybody out there knows Elaine or can get a message to him, tell him too. We're praying for him, and we pray for a great surgery, speedy recovery. Okay. So yeah,
Yes, sir.
thank you, Doug. I
Yeah, no
appreciate that because I
doubt.
did
No,
see that
no
last night,
problem.
No
and
doubt.
that did slip my mind. All right. But Mr. Hunky Dory, Demetrius, how y'all doing?
Hey man, yeah. Hey, how y'all doing, man? Wow, I didn't know that was Elaine was going to have brain surgery, man. Definitely praying for that brother, man. Wow, that threw me for a
Hmm.
loop there when you said that. But yeah, man, praying and that he has a speedy recovery. But I'm doing good, man. Just at the house chilling, just relaxing. Been on the road for a couple days, so chilling out, man.
Yeah. I heard you drove through all that mess earlier.
Say that one more time,
Prime.
man.
You hear me? No, I said I heard you drove
Yeah,
through all that mess earlier, that storm.
oh yeah, bro, it was so bad, man. Like, bro, the
Mhm.
the front of the bus was lifting up as I was driving, man. It was crazy.
Ooh, man. Mm.
PPP
Hey, well,
turned white
look,
as me.
I'm
You had white knuckles, sweaty hands, sweaty feet, big old
hey,
owl eyes staring down the road. I know how that is. I drove a truck for 12 years, and oh Lord,
Nah. I'm used to it, man. I used to drive in Oklahoma, man. Like when they had tornadoes and
oh
stuff. So,
goodness.
I'm used to that, man. It just kind of threw me for a loop. That's all it was. It kind of threw me for a loop. I've never felt something that strong. Pause. Here on the East Coast like that, man. That was kind of crazy.
you know the Dollar General
I
that
feel
just
you.
got destroyed. I went there almost 20 years ago, and a tornado went through and tore off the left corner of it while I was sleeping, waiting for my appointment time. It's the same one that got hit 3 days ago and totally obliterated. That is something.
Wow.
But yeah,
Mm.
speak of all that. Everything's good on my way. I go Monday. That's what I was referring to Doug earlier. I go Monday to get my cancer screening, and I got to get blood work because I have some key indicators that I may have something. I hope
So
it's just a
prayers up.
bacterial infection.
Oh
Prayers
Yeah.
up.
man.
So it is just something,
Oh,
and
hey,
you got to
okay.
deal with it. You put all the facts on the table, like we always discuss. It is what it is,
Yeah.
and
Hey,
Yeah.
well,
it is
hey, we
what it is.
praying for you too, Miss Hunky Dory, as
Yeah,
always, man. Praying for you
Hey,
Nah,
too,
it,
Yeah,
brother.
it ain't.
Hey,
It
definitely,
let me
ain't.
tell
It
brother.
is
you.
what it is, man.
it is.
Nah, it ain't. It is what it is. No,
Yeah.
man. No, man. You ain't got to deal with
Well,
that. You ain't got to
well,
deal with
without
that,
facts,
man.
it's just like an opinion. They say you have this and that, but right now, until you get the absolute blood work, it's just it's not a fact. And so, yeah, we're going to wait till we see the absolute fact. You know what I mean? That's
hey,
all
I
I'm.
got you.
hey, I'll say this. Y'all keep Mama Dukes in her prayers. I know y'all asked. We almost having prayer meeting. My bad, fellas. But
It's all good, man.
she didn't get a good report today. So
Hey,
I'm trying to stay high, but
okay.
she didn't get a good report today. So
That's right.
like I said, I know y'all always
Okay.
ask behind the scenes, so just keep her in her prayers. It wasn't too good. So we just
Yeah.
hoping the next
All right.
step goes, like Miss Ankadori, like I said, I ain't gonna be down, but hopefully we get good news here.
That's
So
right. That's right.
Yeah, no
But
doubt. No
hey,
doubt.
that's
But
what's
back to
up.
football.
Wait, hey, well, look.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go
Let
ahead.
I
me
didn't mean to
Go
bring
cut
ahead.
you
this
off.
Speak.
back up.
I never tried to be rude.
No, you good.
The one thing I'm
No, you
worried
good.
about is that everybody wants to sign Stefon. You know what I mean? But the thing is, if we don't have the money, we may just have to move on and be honest about it. Hey, we have to move on. I don't really see him
Mhm.
making too much more cap room because we got to sign our rookies and so on. And the thing is, we may be able to stag somebody for just enough to fit him into cap and have somebody there extra, as backup. But on to the new running back. Um, he's had 2 lackluster seasons, but I still think he has potential to be a bruiser if he's at good health. And yeah, I like the slam bam. Thank you, ma'am. Attitude, just run them over, get that yard. Attitude. I do like that from them. So yeah, that's Panther football. Don't say thank you.
Yeah.
Run them over.
It just trips me out because I can't remember a time where Panthers have had, you know, five running backs like this on the roster. Usually we go on training camp with maybe, maybe about four running backs, and we'll keep three. Because last year we were debating between Blackshear and what's the man name, Spencer Brown. Okay.
Yeah.
As far as who was
Right.
gonna get cut. But my thing is this, okay, Jonathan Brooks to me was a surprise to me in the draft. I don't know how everybody else feel, but y'all let me know. So that's one. And then Rashad Penny getting signed, that's another one. And he does have a little bit of an injury history. Okay, so hopefully he comes in and he's healthy. But my big question here is, and Prime, I know exactly what your answer is going to be. But my thing is, say all these running backs are healthy, ready to go. Who's going to be the odd man out, or if there's more than one, who would be the odd man out?
Man, you know what, man?
Go ahead.
I
Go
did.
ahead, Brian.
I I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just jump in like that. But
Mm.
uh,
No, you good. Go
I
ahead.
did. I did a little bit of research, man. I don't think Tariq Cohen is as fair game as I thought he was. If this man is healthy,
You know what? Left
he's
him out.
definitely a weapon, man, that the Carolina Panthers are going to utilize. I think the low man on the totem pole is definitely Miles Sanders. I'm gonna be honest with you, but we'll just have to
Okay.
see if Tariq Cohen is ready to go. They may run with him and Chuba and Brooks when Brooks comes in, because like I said, I don't think Brooks is going to come in to week 4. But I
Mhm.
wouldn't want to let Tariq Cohen go. I'm gonna be honest with you. After what I'm doing a little bit more studying on him, man, nah, I wouldn't want to let that dude go, man.
So
Okay.
let me just ask you this real quick though, Prime. In your research and in your research and studying of Tariq Cohen, now this is someone that has not played in the NFL in what, like 3 or 4 years, suffered a devastating injury, um, w- suffered a devastating injury his last year that he played. That I believe that was in Chicago. Signed to us last year, made the onto the practice squad due to his relationship that he has or that he had with Chris Tabor, and then while on the practice squad, suffered a setback. So what is it that gives you what is that you feel positive about Tariq Cohen coming from the practice squad and all these moves that we just made currently at running back and with the current running backs that we currently have on the roster? What makes you feel like Tariq Cohen could find or carve his way into the backfield?
Well, I think that first and foremost, I think that we got 6 of them right now. So you got to shave it down somewhere. But the thing with
Yeah.
Tariq
I'm
Cohen
sorry, y'all. I forgot
is,
to add
along with
Tariq Cohen to the list here.
yeah, the
I'm
one thing
sorry,
about
Prime. I was
Tariq
saying I
Cohen.
forgot to add Cohen to the list.
Oh no, you good, boss man. I'm sorry, and I may have a little delay on my end, so I apologize if I'm over talking somebody. But yeah, when
No,
I
you
look at
good.
Tariq Cohen, he has the intangibles that a Miles Sanders don't have. He has the duality of playing both special teams, and also, he could play the running back position as well. So when you have someone as versatile as that, remember this is a game of multiples. It ain't one trick pony, type of play style. If you're a tight end, you need to block. You're not advantageous if you can't block as a tight end. So when I see this guy, and that's why I said if healthy, I don't think that he's the low man on the totem pole. I think it's Miles Sanders. So he wasn't injured the year prior like that, like a Tariq Cohen, and he didn't really produce like that. He had a growing injury. You know, we can assume that it was better after the bye week. He was able to cut a little bit better, but he didn't produce. So what's the
Okay.
difference between him and a Tariq Cohen? I would rather go with the man that's
Well,
a Swiss Army knife.
but you talk okay. I hear what you're saying, but when you describe Tariq Cohen and you mentioned as far like tight end, with tight ends, you want your tight end to be able to block as well as catch, right? So
Yeah.
in Tariq Cohen's career, but before the injury, in Tariq Cohen's career, he was never known as a pass blocking or being capable of pass blocking. So I wouldn't compare him to Miles Sanders. Tariq Cohen, to me, in my opinion, is more along the line of a Raheem Blackshear. He's a third down back, a scat back that got good hands out of the backfield, that can bring some juice, to the offense, but also that is valuable or was valuable on special teams. And I say was because we don't know what he would be right now. So I think what it sounds like you're putting a lot on a player that hasn't even had the opportunity or even been productive in the league in about 4 or 5 years over all these other guys, especially, you said Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders didn't have a great year last year, but he was available. You know what I'm saying? Miles Sanders hasn't been sitting out 4 or 5 years. Miles Sanders just the year before was the fourth leading rusher in the NFL and was on a team that went to the Super Bowl. So all that kind of stuff matters. Now I'm just saying I know a lot of people are Tariq Cohen fans, and I'm a Tariq Cohen fans. Went to HBCU, the human joystick. We all know his story, right? But the reality is, what are his chances of coming from the practice squad where he's currently at to unseating somebody in this in this running back room when we haven't seen any type of production from him whatsoever in the past
Can I ask
four
you
or
a
five
question?
years. But no, I just asked you a question, so answer my question first, sir.
Well. I mean, the question was a hypothetical question. Who do you see, or it was a question of opinion. So that's my
But it's
opinion on the matter. You see what
it
I'm
was
saying?
still a but
Hold
but
on,
but
Tony.
it's
Let,
still a
let him answer your
question because
question, Tony. Let him answer your question. Let him
he
answer your
wasn't he
question.
was
Yeah.
but he was answering it. He was answering CJ.
No. I
Go
mean,
ahead, y'all go ahead, man.
if
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I hope I ain't disrespect you, man. But
Nah,
I
go
mean,
ahead, Prime.
my okay. My whole position is this, man. Like I understand that. I understand what you're saying as far as like he has like what can he do to show that he can unseat someone. Remember, Dave Canella said ain't nobody really in no spot to be seated anyway right now. Period. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're asking me, if all cards are on the table right now, as I think they are when it comes down to Dave Canellis, and you're asking me, well, who has more to give? I'm going to say Tariq Cohen right now. And listen, I know that he came off of an injury that was pretty bad. He's still on the team though, and Dan Morgan re-signed him, so I got to put him in the mix. And we saw what Miles
Okay.
Sanders did last year. It wasn't he did nothing that was beneficial to the team. So if I'm looking at the possibility of using someone that's gonna be beneficial to the team, I gotta add in Tariq Cohen only because he's there. You see what I'm saying? And last year Miles Sanders really
Gotcha.
didn't work out. And I'm trying not to be biased with it, but if you're asking me, that's my opinion on who I think is the low man on the totem pole for me.
Hey, Prime.
Got it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Prime. Now, with last year with Sanders, I won't call it a downfall. It was epically horrible. But if he's really that strong coming back this year, and we got new
Hmm.
guard play, we can open up that A and B gap. You believe that
Yeah.
Sanders is going to be totally different than it was last year?
I believe Miles Sanders can't have a bounce back year because he's not injured. His
Right.
whole downfall was the fact that he couldn't move. He couldn't make those lateral moves with the growing injury, in my opinion.
Correct.
So yeah,
When you go to
yeah,
plant
definitely.
all that
Uh,
weight with the growing
yeah.
muscles and the
Hmm.
growing hip area too.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
causes a big problem. So he couldn't plant correctly and shift, like you said, with his hips and push off to make them cuts to go through or that sudden burst movement.
right.
So with Owens coming in, he's the new man in the roster. He's the odd man out to me because I believe that Sanders is coming in and he's fully healed and he's got the monkey on his back. Everybody said, get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. He was trash. But if that man's healthy and we got new guard play, I believe that his game will change. I'm not saying he's going to come out and be an epic all star, but I believe
Hmm.
he is going to be far better than last year. And his experience and so on is more than Owens to me.
Yeah. No, I can see your point. Definitely, I can definitely see your point.
Can,
Yeah.
can I make this point, fellas? I think it's not
Go ahead,
crowded.
Dub.
And reason why I say I don't think it's crowded is I think Jonathan Brooks is going to be on the R or the short. Is it short term? R is it 4 weeks?
Yeah, I think short term IR is 4 weeks, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken.
so what I think is going to happen? I think Jonathan Brooks is going to be on the R. I don't think they're going to rush him back. I do think the Panthers are doing the right thing. One thing that Dave Canal said is he's going to run the ball a lot. With you running the ball a lot, you need a lot of running backs. And why not grab a running back that knows the system and Rashad Penny? When Rashad Penny was at Seattle, he did have injury problems. If you look at the crowded backfield that he had in Philly, he could have had the opportunity to show up, but they had Swift be the lead back. So one thing that I look at is I think it's almost like an insurance, where you have insurance or you have that player just in case if something doesn't happen. I know CJ did ask who will be the odd man out. I hate to say it. It probably is going to be Tariq Cohen because based off of what Blackshear shows, and Blackshear is a bigger back and he can produce in the special teams area. I don't think it's crowded. I do think on this picture right now, one of those running backs will be on the IR, Jonathan Brooks. So that's all I got.
Yeah, and thank God they're taking their time with Brooks because there is if they brought him right in the bat and say, "Hey, you need to play
Facts.
right now," I'd be
Facts.
upset. I would be like, you're trashing the poor guy." You know what I mean? You got to give him a break-in period, and if we don't, there's absolutely something wrong. But here's another question: is maybe we keep all of the backs, but the thing is, we use them on special teams and so on. If we're going to run the ball hard, you know what I mean? We might go through backs and they're thinking about, hey, we don't need them to go down. We need our specialty players. We can put them on special teams and so on if they could fit there and have a rotational just in case we need an emergency players to come in so we can keep our scheme going. Because if we're not going to be pass
Hmm.
happy, we're going to be run happy. And, like
Right.
CJ always says, your best ability is your availability. You know what I mean? And if a
Facts.
person is injured or
Facts.
has a minor injury and needs times to heal, we pull that person off of special teams, plug and play, baby, smash and bash.
Okay.
Okay.
What's
Okay.
up,
Hey,
Hey,
can I
guys?
ask this
Kevin
question in the
Thompson,
comment here?
thank you for
Oh,
joining us.
my bad, CJ.
What's up?
My
What's
bad.
up, guys?
Hey,
What's going
how
on,
you doing? I
KJ?
see you in the
Oh,
comments,
nothing
man.
much, man.
I see,
Yeah, man. I was just,
I
here.
see you in the comments.
Yeah, man. I got a lot, man. Cause y'all be throwing out some good stuff, man. I just want to get my input in there,
Appreciate
on these running backs,
you. Go ahead with it.
because I hear a lot of Miles Sanders hate. You know what I'm saying? And it's that bothered me a little bit because before he came here, he had 1,200 yards with the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Could have been more if they would have utilized him more down the stretch. In the Super Bowl, he probably could have had a great game, made a mistake or whatever. But at the same time, though, nobody worked out here last year. Frank Wright, what he did in Indianapolis, okay, he ran through quarterbacks. He was there 5 years. Every quarterback he had got killed. He was the reason Andrew Luck retired. Bryce had 62 sacks last year. That was what, tied for first in the league last year? Like, so
Nah, it
what
was
I'm
first.
saying
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
exactly.
first
So
first or second.
So you got to
I'm
understand the
sorry,
problem
second,
with
the
the O
Sam Howell.
line.
My bad.
Right. Okay. So the problem with the O line wasn't only in the pass game. We had injuries. Zavala was a rookie who was starring coming from a school like NC State, and you can look at him and tell he's not the athlete like Icky. He's not Icky at any stretch of imagination. So I don't feel like he should have even been on the field at all last year. Corbett being in and out with injuries, so, as far as Miles, I don't think he was given a fair shake. And even though he didn't have the production like Chuba, if you look at the numbers, he's not far off from half as many yards as on half as many carries. So if he would have got the same amount of touches Chuba got, he probably would on Chuba had like what 949 yards. I think Miles with the same amount of carry would have at least got like what 850, 8 880, something like that. So the scheme was off,
I'm,
camping into it with the camp with the whole running back to Tepper last year with problems and
mhm,
everything. That has a lot to do with it. So, I
yeah,
don't see why we cut Miles Sanders. It's a reason why he got the contract he got.
yeah. And you know
Yeah.
what? And I'm going
I
to read those numbers out to you right now because I got them up on the screen. Okay, because Chuba Hubbard had 238 carries, 902 yards. All right, and Miles Sanders had 129 carries and 432 yards. And
Right,
Kevin, I'm gonna tend to agree with you on this one because I think that and then Sanders is really the only running back besides Brooks now that he was drafted. But if
right,
whatever contract they give Rashad Penny, probably gonna be a 1 year deal. So outside of
right,
Brooks and Sanders, everybody else is still on their last deal of their contract, only on their a 1 year deal. So, but I tend to agree with you. I don't know if Miles necessarily got a fair shake, with the injuries that
correct,
he had, the way that the line was playing, and then you pile on top of that the scheme that they were running, and I
right,
think we can all agree. Well, some of us can agree, some of us won't. That scheme wasn't getting the best abilities out of our offensive line. Okay, you saw it when
right,
the latter
right,
half of the year when Steve Wilkes was the head coach, straight on, run the ball, you got your hog mollies up to the open holes, and the guys are running through them. And then we switched to Frank Wright scheme. It's more, this zone blocking thing. And
hmm,
the gaps in the holes really just weren't there, all the
right,
time. I think it was damn good for Chuba that he ended up with 900 yards. Hats
right.
off to him. But I tend to agree with you. I tend to agree with
But
you, and I
the
kind of
thing
want to
and the
give
thing
Miles a second chance.
Right. We need to give Miles a second chance. He got that contract. It's no reason we eat dead money for a player that's going if you take Miles Sanders and you put him up there in Green Bay with Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders, and they O line and they coaching and they how they do things, do you think Miles Sanders is gonna have 120 carries on 400 yards? No. Dude's gonna go for like 900 yards or better with the right scheme and the right coaching and a team that actually is winning and believing in him, because you got to think Chuba got those yards. Chuba basically changed his run style. Chuba was a cutter. Chuba is a shifty back, but at the same time you saw him develop a more downhill style of running to adapt to the O line, basically, because the O line that we had was better with straight downhill blocking instead of getting shifty with it and finding cuts and holes, tuba running. But you got Miles Sanders, who's already he's so far along into his craft and he's had success. He's not going to change how he runs the ball for that O line when they weren't blocking as good for him because they bought him in because of what he can do. He's not supposed to change his style. Then we're not getting Miles Sanders that we was trying to get. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
yeah. And
I
MDJ
think
got a comment.
oh,
He
go
said
ahead,
at
CJ.
some point, as fans, we have to hold the players accountable. It seems like we're saying the coaches ruined the players last year, even through turmoil. Thielen at his age showed up Troy Hill and DB Derek Brown. Okay, we're not saying necessarily that they. Well, I'm not saying that they ruined them. I'm just saying that given the injuries and the play and the scheme, I think it all comes together and it all plays a part in what potentially may be the reason why he didn't have a good season. I'm not saying that he is absolved of any, blame in this. It is up to him. But if he's out there playing hurt for most of the year, that does factor into it. Okay. And just like I say with Bryce Young, okay, I want to see what he can do with another year and all the things that we've done in this offseason, saying the same thing for Miles Sanders. I want to see him get healthy, be able to have a healthy season, and then you come out and, like I said, improvements we had offensive line, new scheme. I see what he can do. Okay, not necessarily putting
Right.
all the blame on the coaches, but we can't sit here and act like that didn't factor in at all. Okay,
Right.
everybody's
Yeah.
percentages are going to be different depending on your opinion. But if you want to put everything together in this totality, you got to look at all of it. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, Tony.
Right. But just even so, let's just break it down on two sides. You got offense and defense. So let's just go with the offense side of the ball first. And like CJ mentioned earlier, when we had that north south smash mouth type football when Steve Wilkes took over after Matt Rule, it played to the strength of the offensive linemen that we had. All right. We didn't have no offensive linemen last year or the year before that was athletic like we have with Icky. Icky was probably the most athletic offensive lineman that we had on that squad. So it was more beneficial to play a north south smash mouth type of football. So now when you talk about Frank Wright and Thomas Brown coming in and they're meshing two schemes together. You got Thomas Brown that comes from a wide zone type of offense under Sean McVay, and then you talking about Frank Wright coming in with his triangle read offense. So what they were trying to do, from my understanding, they was trying to mix the passing of the triangle read offense with the running of the wide zone running game. So they're trying to mesh those two together. So with those two schemes, you got to have athletic offensive linemen. And I think that was one of the main reasons, but before the injuries, but well, I can't say before the injuries because Corbett and Brady Christensen was hurt the last game of the season or towards the latter end of the season. So that played a factor coming into last season. But when you just talking about scheme fit, the whole scheme of that offense, when you talking about when you talking about bringing back Bradley Bozeman, Ike Quano, Taylor Moton, and now you got to plug and play with these guards on the left and the right side. So not only were you talking about the continuity had to come together, now they learned a whole new blocking scheme that wasn't beneficial for the type of athletes that we have up front, so to speak. So that's going to cause problems up front. That's going to cause problems for the quarterback, the running back. That's going to cause problems for the wide receivers and all that. Now, luckily, Chuba Hubbard, in my opinion, had a great year for what we asked Chuba Hubbard to do. You know, he has steadily improved year after year after year, and he earned the right to be running back one last year. Because if I'm not mistaken, Miles Sanders had some fumbles early on in throughout the season. Then he had the nagging injuries. So when you couple all those together, it only made sense that Chuba Hubbard stepped into the running back, to the starting position at running back. But I think what a lot of people were upset was they were looking at the money that we paid Miles Sanders, and we was hoping that we would get more out of Miles Sanders than what we did. I'm of that same mindset. Okay, I was hoping that we were going to get more out of him than what we did. But like CJ said, when you look at things from its totality, it wasn't one position or one player that made others bad around them. It was from the coaching, from the scheme to everything. So I don't think we're trying to put the blame just solely on the coaches. But when you, like CJ said, when you look at it from its totality, and you look at all the things that Miles Sanders was dealing with last year, like we can't say that he had nagging injuries, this and that, but we still expect him to be a Pro Bowl back. The two don't even out. You know what I mean? So from that standpoint, I'm a believer in Miles Sanders. It doesn't make sense to cut him. I don't think there's a complete running back in that room that has shown themselves to be a complete running back in the league as of yet. So I don't see it with Chuba. I don't see it with Miles Sanders. Definitely don't see it with Raheem Blackshear, and definitely don't see it with Rashad Penny because of the injury history. So you can take bits and pieces from each running back and can make a complete backfield. That's why you have a running back by committee process. That's what I think will be best for them going forward, and bring Jonathan Brooks on slowly. I've been on record, saying how I felt about that pick in the draft, and I just feel like you if you put that kind of investment into him, and he just tore his ACL in November, it makes absolutely no sense to try to get him ready, or hope that he's ready by week 1. I know modern medicine has changed. There's some great things they can do, but ACL is an ACL. And when you put a running back out there, you want him to be confident, not second guessing everything that he's doing. So give him time. Give him
Yeah.
time.
Now, here's another question for you. This is for Tony. Now, with all the backs that we're bringing and everything else, and this goes with what Paul's saying, about how many backs we're going to keep with our running scheme, and we have a zone concept. We may see the wishbone. We may even see the what's the other one? The flex bone come out, and people ain't seen that in a
Wow.
long time. Yeah, but with that many running backs, it allows for extra blockers, fast blockers, other than a tight end blocking. So yeah, you might see that coming out, and that allows us to do that, and it's very effective against some of the spread offenses. Not the spread offense. I'm sorry. Some of the types of defense and all that. So you got everybody up in the box. We were complaining about how everybody's up in the box. The box, last year, they knew we were going to run the ball. We were running the same thing, but with them two types, the defense have to be on their toes because you can go any direction with it. And so we have to look at what they're going to do. We have yet to see exactly what they're doing, what type of play calling. So there might be a reason why we have these extra backs coming in, and not only to try them out and see the best of the best, so get Brooks healed, slowly and over time, and not rush him into the games. But they might be trying a new offensive scheme to bring in them types of running plays. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
I definitely don't know. I have no idea. With the Rashard Penny signing, I think that was mainly, in my opinion, based on the relationship that he has with Dave Canales when they were in Seattle. I'm pretty sure that Rashard Penny knows this scheme that Dave Canales wants to implement, just as well as David Moore, who he had in Tampa Bay, was another player that he had when he was in Seattle that knows the system. So how effective, how much they will be used going forward in this offense. Who's to say? Um, that's why one of the reasons why I didn't get so excited about the Rashard Penny signing, because I was like, okay, we're not talking about somebody that has been a consistent, runner, or been not consistent runner, that has produced consistently. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. That has produced consistently. He has more injuries than anything. Now I know he had that stretch um back in 2021, 5-6 game stretch when he was in Seattle, and Rashaad Penny looked like the Rashaad Penny of old. I remember him coming out of San Diego State. I remember the talk that was going. No, that was the buzz that was about him when they were saying, "Oh, he might be better than even Marshall Faulk." When Marshall Faulk was at San Diego State, and I mean, this guy was. He was like he made people forget that Marshall Faulk even played at San Diego State. That's how good Rashaad Penny was coming out of college. But ever since he's been into the league, he has definitely been injury prone. So
And
you
yeah,
know,
let's
you
okay.
can't so when the signing happened, basically, I didn't get excited like some people did. I just thought it was just a signing based off the relationship that he had with Dave Canales in Seattle.
Well,
Go ahead.
here's we'll go over his injuries. For Penny, he's had a hand finger fracture, a knee strain, a thigh hamstring, knee ACL tear, knee strain, a leg calf strain, thigh hamstring sprain, and he had a left tibia fracture in his NFL career. Okay. And according to
Yeah.
Draft Sharks, he got a 91% chance of being injured this year. 91%. He's projected to miss 4.2 games. And out of a 5, his durability is 1.33. Tells me something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That is a very high risk. You waiting for box cars with your last dollar to get home at the casino.
Hey,
You're
I'm
Yeah.
with
rolling the
Tony
dice.
though, because when we signed Penny, I didn't look at it like either Chuba, Miles, or Brooks. I think those guys make the roster. No matter Penny, Cohen, Blackshear probably makes the roster because of his special teams ability. But as far as our three main running backs, I would say Chuba, Miles, and Brooks. So Penny don't really make too much of a threat. Maybe he gets in, maybe he don't. To
I
me,
agree with you on that. I really think Penny is just an insurance. Like I said, it's an insurance signing. We'll know a lot this weekend during rookie minicamp. I know a lot of reporters are going to be asking Jonathan Brooks, "Hey, how's the knee going? How's the rehab going? Are you doing more cutting? Are you running?" I understand. Certain people are going to say, "Hey, he's cutting and running," but that doesn't mean full strength because when you get hit, it depends on you bouncing off and are you getting back up. For me, I'm not mad at it. I do think we possibly will carry at the most 3, and I know you taking one away means it's 3 running backs, but again, I think Jonathan Brooks is the running back of the future. Um, if he does come back and he he's healed, I wouldn't rush him back. But like we said, week 4, and then he's coming out guns a blazing. Somebody might have their job taken, and I already know that. I mean, I
Back.
think Shuba. I think
Fact.
Shuba may even have his job taken as well. It just depends on his recovery. You don't rush him back. If he has to sit a whole year, you sit him a whole year. Again, you don't rush. You don't rush a second round pick like this with the injury happening in November. So again, I understand the signing of Rashad Penny, and like I said, I'm just really ready to see Jonathan Brooks in action this week to see what he can do. That's what I
Hey,
really know.
what's the term when you don't play a player? Not is it injured reserve, but if you put him on
It's
injured
hard.
reserve, yeah, IR, and that'll allow for Brooks to sit out. And that means it would be Chuba, Miles, and Penny's out. I don't think Penny's. I think Penny's is going to be like the practice team person, emergency person. Somehow, you know what I mean. I think he's the person out because his injuries are too great. You know what I mean. But he does have potential. But that would leave Blackshear, Miles, and Chuba. You know what I mean, and with allowing Brooks to sit. You know what I mean, with limited play, or just on IR for maybe 5 games or 4 or 5 games. Is that possible?
CJ, you on
Hey,
mute.
and Doug, I'm sorry. I just a
Yes,
talking
sir.
away to nobody. But Doug, like earlier in your live when you were talking about the roster and you
Mm-hmm.
said Dan Morgan, drafting for the future. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it could be a situation where they're like, okay, Canales likes Brooks. He fits his system perfectly. You know, he has
Mhm.
the injury. Okay, cool. Let's bring him in slow. And when they put him on the IR, what's the first week they're available to come back? Is it's not week 4, is it?
Is it 6 or 4? I want to say
It
it's
It's
it
one of
it
those.
it,
I think
it,
it's
it
week 4,
depends.
and then they got like what,
Yeah,
2 weeks to get 2 weeks
that's
to
what it is.
return,
Okay.
or they go back on there.
Okay.
Awesome.
right.
Okay.
That's
So,
awesome.
All right.
so
Gotcha.
CJ, can I elaborate what I meant by the running back of the future when I said that earlier this afternoon? What I mean by
Yeah,
that is
go
Dan
for it.
Morgan said that when he got this GM job and he did his prep going into his presser going into the draft, he said we're not only drafting for right now, but we're drafting for the future. At one point, I always want to make when we talk about
Hmm.
these running backs. Um, Chuba Hubbard's on a 1 year deal. Miles Sanders only has, if I'm not mistaken, is it 2 more years? But if he does not produce the way you want him to produce, it's not going to hit your cap very high next year. Then Blackshear was brought in
Hmm.
back on a 1 year deal. Um, Outside of that, those three that we're going to talk about right there, what other running back did you have in the room? So that's where I think again, Dan Morgan stood on what he said. I had to draft for not just now, but also the future. Jonathan Brooks is your future running back. And I know even
Hmm.
that's going into next year with him coming off a year of the ACL. I think if you put Chuba against Jonathan Brooks is going to beat Chuba out head up. So I understand the pick. Um, you don't know what's coming out next year. You don't know how the market's going to be with running backs, but also the one market that you can replenish a position at is the in the draft with drafted a running back. So that's the reason why I made that point.
Facts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because now you got Miles Sanders. I think he has 3 more years left on his deal, and cutting him this season would definitely not make any sense as far as the cap go. Because if they cut him pre-June 1st, I think they lose 2 million in dead money, and if it's a post-June 1st cut, I think it's like 200 grand if I'm looking at this right. So I don't think financially it makes sense to cut Miles Sanders. But yeah, but like I was saying too, even if they get Brooks in here and bring him back slowly, okay. So let me ask you all this: if Brooks is, they sit him down and he doesn't play the first few weeks of the season, okay, who out of this group do you think maybe is going to be like Chuba, Miles, Blackshear, Chuba, Blackshear, Penny, or like, and just give me your honest opinion. Who do you think would make it? Just say Brooks is on the bench for the first weeks of the season.
Who are you
I'll
asking?
go first. I
Oh,
think I think all four of those running backs that you see on the screen right now will be in play, and the reason why I
Uh-huh.
believe that, cause bringing in Rashad Penny is like having an insurance policy just in case Chuba or Miles something happens with them. Excuse me. If you want to be a run first team, pound the football, what have you, you have 3 to 4 capable running backs that can help you in the backfield right now. There will be no need, absolutely no need to rush Jonathan Brooks to have him starting the week 1 or even week 4. You know what I mean? So if you take Jonathan Brooks off that list right now, I think those other 4 running backs, Rashard Penny, Blackshear, Miles Sanders, and Chuba Hubbard, is more than capable of giving you the production that you want next year. And I think it also added bonus with Rashard Penny because you're not asking him to be the workhorse or running back 1 or 2. So if you can get anything from him and he can stay healthy, that's a bonus. So yeah. I don't
Okay.
see any other reasons to have any other running backs than what we have right now on the screen with Jonathan Brooks being brought along slowly as possible.
Now, other
Okay.
than that,
Doug.
you can actually.
Oh.
Oh, go ahead, Doug. I'm sorry. I was just saying you could look at it. You got pennies and miles. They're the heavyweights, and you got Black, Shear, and Chuba. They're the lightweights. You know what I mean? You switch, plug and play. And with that many backs, it allows you to rotate not only for the running game, but the short action passing game. To have and the backfield toss, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there's a lot of good with having these rotational backs like this coming in. You know what I mean? It also allows for the younger guys to get that experience, like Flaming Jesus was saying, and allowing Brooks to get up into NFL shape, healed up before he takes the bruising. You know what I mean? And so it does make sense. Tony, you're
Mm-hmm.
absolutely right.
Real quick, I'll
Yeah.
say this.
Yep.
It ain't nothing to rebuttal. I said it whenever we start opening up about it. Rashad Penny is an insurance policy. Point blank. That's all I gotta say. I love it.
Okay.
Don't rush a young man back. Again, do not rush him back. And I think we have the right coaches and the right brass upstairs to know not to rush this young man back. That's it.
All right. Prime. Prime had a long day.
Yeah,
Prime might be asleep.
uh, yeah, I was just
Hey, I'm
gonna
sorry.
say,
I didn't. I didn't hear your question, man.
okay.
My bad.
Oh, hold on 1 second, Prime. Go ahead, Kevin. Hold on 1 second, Prime.
Yeah, as far as I just think Brooks, looking back on last year, Brees Hall for the Jets, he had I think the same injury as Brooks had, and I think Brooks had
Mm-hmm.
his later in the year too. And if you look back at Brees Hall last year, he was still they gave him touches, but they had Dalvin Cook as well, so he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
a real workhorse back. He was a shell of himself, but he made it through the year and didn't re-aggravate his injury. So as far as Brooks, I could see him not getting that much work next year. You know, maybe a little bit of towards the middle and the back end of the season, but I don't see him coming out week one getting, 70% of the touches, So I'm gonna go with
Okay.
Chuba, Miles, Blackshear has to be in there, and I think he plays mostly special teams. So I'm gonna say
Mm-hmm.
Chuba, Blackshear, Penny makes it if Brooks don't make it, and yeah. So I say all of them, and Cohen the odd man out. I don't I don't I don't think Cohen's gonna come back all the way. I don't think he's just gonna be a factor if this year anyway. And he Tabor guy is Tabor even? I don't think Tabor's still here, is he?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yep.
So,
He
no.
is not.
we talk about guys and their guys, his guy's not even here. So, I think Cohen's the odd man out, and everybody you see on the screen makes it.
Okay. Hey, Prime. The question was, if Brooks is if they take it slow with Jonathan Brooks and just say he doesn't play like the first you know 2 games of the season with everybody else on here, who do you think is who you think stays and who potentially gets cut?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a repeat my sentiments from earlier. I think Miles Sanders
Mm,
gets cut. Um, that's my opinion. I think Tariq makes it.
okay.
I think of course Juba. This is his last year on his contract, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm,
So he's in there. Raheem is definitely on there. Um, and that's Dave Canellis's guy, Penny. So in some capacity, I see him as a third down type situation guy. So but Tariq Cohen, you can use him, like I said, in multiple different ways. So I think he's more valuable than a one trick pony, Miles Sanders. And if we want to be honest, the reason why we got Jonathan Brooks is to uh, have a decent running back. I mean, we just cut Hayden Hurst,
okay.
who had a 3-year contract. So I don't think it's far fetched just because he got that type of contract that he won't get cut.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Yes, that's a very fair point. That is a very
Thanks
fair
for
point. Just
thanks
because
for
they got
busting my bubble.
years left on the contract. Yeah. Yep. That is a very fair point, Prime. Appreciate that. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. But that's what's up. That's what's up. All right. So anybody got any just other thoughts on this running back room?
Nope.
In
Nope.
any other feelings? Okay. All right, cool. Let me get this off the screen here. All right. One more thing before we get out of here. Now rookie minicamp starts the 10th, which is Friday. So any thoughts, any feelings, any expectations what you would like to see from these guys throughout minicamp?
Go ahead, Doug.
I was gonna pass it off. I did that earlier. I wanted to hear some of y'all storylines. I gave,
Oh,
yeah, I gave four storylines. I'll say so. What I did is I basically just gave up four storylines. Just kind of made it what the newspapers, what the clips or what the tweets are gonna say. For me, two players, Jonathan Brooks and Trevin Wallace. I think a lot of people are so upset that we didn't get Peyton Wilson. I was really upset that we missed out on Edrin Cooper, but I think the more and more that you watch this
Facts.
young man, excuse me, he just needs the intangibles. He doesn't. His weakness is play recognition. That's easy to work on. You put him in the film room. You say, "Hey, lock him in a room," and he watches film. With Jonathan Brooks, I really just want to know how is he progressing? Are you 80-20? Are you 60-40? I don't need you to be 50-50. But overall, I'm just really excited. And a wild card would be Coker. That's all I got, man. I'm really ready to see these players and really get some tidbits so we can get ready for mandatory minicamp.
Okay.
right.
All right. Prime, Kevin, Mr. Hunky Dory, what y'all got?
Yeah, man. Like I said earlier on Doug's one, man, I'm excited about Xavier Leggett. I want to see him play as the big man that we drafted him as. And,
Hmm.
I'm looking for those 50-50 catches, man. I'm looking for him to go up, big body, block out, and make some things happen, man. So Xavier Leggett. And then, I really like Wallace. Wallace to
Hmm.
me was really, really good pickup. Maybe we could have waited a little bit longer, but it is what it is, But I like the way he played. He's going to bring that physicality back to that linebacker position, man, and really set the tone, for years to come. So I'm excited about what Wallace is going to do, and of course, tight end Sanders. Just a well-rounded hands catching tight end. And that's what we
Hmm.
need in Carolina. So I'm excited to see those three guys, definitely, do what they did in college and make a stamp here in Carolina, man. So I'm excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about Xavier Leggett. He a country boy. I'm a country boy. He intrigued me. He gonna be.
Really?
I think he gonna be big for us. You know what I'm saying? And I like Michael Barrett, man, our seventh round pick. I feel like, man, how nobody's talking about him and he went to Michigan. I feel like everybody that was on that Michigan defense was tough, bro. And man, just having somebody that played on that Michigan defense, won a lot of games with those people. That's exciting. And like PPP said, Trevin Wallace, they talk about his play recognition, but one reason
Yeah.
why I think Dan Morgan went and got him is because he's a dog. When he go get it, he goes and get
Hmm.
it. So them three
Yeah,
guys right there, I'm excited about. Shaw Smith Wade, he they say he Dante Jackson with the size, but the thing about him is he's not scared to hit. So I want to see what they do
right.
with him, how they bring him along, and just ready to see these guys develop.
Okay.
Shaw
Yeah,
Smith Wade reminds me more of Captain Munnerlin than he does Dante
Right?
Jackson. Y'all
Yeah.
remember when we had Captain Munnerlin? He reminds me of Captain Munnerlin more than Dante Jackson.
Yeah, but he definitely, to be a
Hmm.
smaller guy, you watching him run around on the field, and he definitely not scared of no contact. So,
Right,
I know Troy,
right,
Troy coming back, but after Troy though, I saw what they said at the Senior Bowl. He learned how to play the nickel, real fast, and that's great because he's understanding the nickel position, but he's played outside his whole college career, so he knows how to play that. So it's exciting to
right.
have at least
Hmm.
that, that looking at it from the bright side because we didn't get that big name corner that we were looking for, but being that his mentality, of course, he has to have the dog mentality like Dan Morgan like. So, I think he could probably be a
Yeah,
good play down the line somewhere.
Hey, can I
yeah.
ask a question? Tony, can I ask a question real quick? Hey, Kevin, where are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm from Mississippi.
Okay, because cause, yeah, that country talk, I love it,
That
man.
twang.
I'm like, that Joker got to be from deep somewhere,
Oh,
deep.
everybody be like, man, I can't even hardly understand Xavier Leggett. It's like he talking like perfect English to me. For
But you
real.
know what though? You know what though? Even I'm from the country too. I don't have like a hard country accent, but I was around a lot of people that talk like him. I can understand every word he says too. I promise you, I
For
can.
sure,
I
yeah,
can
yeah, and
understand every bit of it.
I'm on
Every
here
bit
with
of it.
y'all guys. I'm being real professional with y'all guys. I don't want to cut loose, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely got a little Xavier to get somewhere in there.
Hey, look, read my shirt real quick. Go ahead, tell me what that say.
Oh,
Can,
keep
can you see
pounding,
it?
man, all day.
There you go.
The part of Mississippi I'm from, I'm real close to Memphis, and man, that's all they
Uh-huh.
we been saying. I don't know why they coin Memphis people as to being the people that came up with Maine, but man, I've been saying Maine
Uh-huh.
since I was 3 years old. I've been saying Maine forever. Like it's just normal
Yeah,
language.
That's all right. That
yeah.
is all right.
Hey, I
Hey,
enjoyed y'all guys
For
well,
tonight though.
appreciate you,
no,
man.
I was say just
Appreciate you.
just this rookie minicamp, man. I'm of course wanting to see what the rookie draft picks do, but I'm also more anxious to see what some of these undrafted free agents will do. When you talk about Sam Pinckney the third, Jaden Sheridan, Jalen Coker, you got some guys that were brought that were invited, offensive lineman from Monmouth. I think was it Greg Anderson, Greg Robinson,
I
offensive
think
lineman
one
number
of them, yeah.
76. The safety from Coastal Carolina. I can't remember his first name. Isbell. Last name Isbell. Played at Utah,
Mm.
then transferred to Coastal Carolina, I believe. So I'm because I love the underdogs. I love the underdogs. I love the ones that people don't know much about. That people I ain't gonna say people, but they have the cards, they have the deck stacked against them. You know what I'm saying? They're
Mm.
not looked upon as possibly making the team. They're long shots. They have more to prove, right, Antonio? They have more to prove. So I'm always rooting for the underdogs. Um, I think the wide receiver battle is going to be a battle not only this weekend, amongst the rookies. I don't think it's really going to be a battle, but you're going to really be able to see them show what they can do a little bit. Now I know it's not with pads or anything like that. So, but yeah, I'm just rooting for the underdogs, man. There's some guys, especially undrafted free agents, that I would love to see make this team. And I think they will have a pretty good chance.
Yeah, Jalen
Mr. Hunky
Coker.
Dory, what about you?
I saw.
Oh,
I just wanted to say Jalen Coker at Holy Cross, the receiver. I saw a clip where he said, basically, from what I understand, how he looked at it, undrafted free agents, they get to choose where they go, and he chose to come
right.
here, and his whole thing was, from what I can understand, I'm coming to take somebody's spot. That's what I got. He was looking for somewhere where, hey, I can get on the
Yeah.
field, and he a elite route runner, separation, plenty of targets. So him and Cromedy from Mississippi State, my home state,
Yeah.
I paid attention to him. He's more of a style of, he holds his ground. So when everybody downfield, you can either go upfield to the quarterback, or you can go backwards getting blocked. I see where he kind of plays around the line of scrimmage. So when you got that quarterback that get flushed out the pocket, when he gets ready to step up, I see Crumedy as that guy
Hmm.
that when he steps up in the pocket, that's who he runs into. So I like Crumedy
Being a
as well.
disruptor.
Yeah, he very disruptive around the line of scrimmage. It's
Okay.
hard to
Yeah.
hit him off that line of scrimmage. He stand his ground.
Yeah.
Miss Hunky Door.
Well, I was going to tell Kevin, every time he tells me he's south of Memphis and so on, I keep thinking about Circus over in Tunica and how much money they owe me.
I'm from right there. I'm from probably about, man, 30 minutes from Tunica, man. I'm always in Tunica. I visit up there every now and then, but not nothing too crazy. I ain't trying to give them all my money.
Hey, and I'll say one short thing. I went there after the cotton harvest, and I know like this old black man come in there overalls, and he pulled out a wad of $100 bills I couldn't put my hand around, right, and
Yep.
both hands, and he was playing craps. And I was just sitting there, and he was smoking an old stogie. And I was like, "Holy smokes!" And I said, "Well, what do you do for a living?" He says he grows cotton. He says, "All the fields were barren. They just finished, and he just got paid." And I said, "You're in the casino?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, okay. You're in the casino. Have a good time." Because just the way he said, "Yeah,"
Yeah,
damn.
man. Them older folks be at the casino, man. They in there.
But
Yeah.
but
Yes,
you
sir.
know, back to talking about football. I'm just excited. I don't have no grandeur of glory this year. I am so excited because we have so many new people. We have new coaches. I want to see who the next hidden Steve Smith is. Yeah, I get that vibe. You know what I mean? Because we got so many new people, and it doesn't mean in that position. I'm talking all the players. We've shifted players. We brought in new players. I am so excited just to see what's going to happen, what we're going to do, the change that we're doing, and the potential that we have to go from the 32nd ranked offense. You know what I mean? Up, and also defense. I think we could improve on defense and so on. And like I said, I don't have no grandeur of we're going to the playoffs. Oh, I'm not smoking no eight ball here, but I do see that there's a lot. There's a lot of something to be excited over. You know, and like I said,
Well,
who
you
is that
just
hidden
keep telling on
gem over?
yourself.
I'm just saying. Hey, long time ago, but I've been
Oh,
refereeing for 20. Oh my god, almost 28 years. 28 years.
oh God.
Okay.
Hey, I don't have nothing to hide from nobody, and I'm not ashamed of my life. And so,
Hey,
but
we
what I'm
appreciate
saying is
Already.
there is something to be excited about this year. You know what I mean? And we've all been
Yeah.
talking about it for months, and we've seen that change. We've seen the excitement come back in Panther football. We've seen what they're trying to bring in. We want that old dog mentality. I like Wallace. I like the way he squares up, hits people dead in the chest. I mean, it is chest to chest when he hits them. I like that. I'm excited to see what Coker can do. Is he? I'm just excited all the way across. You know what I mean? Just to see what new gems we have brought in, and I believe we have brought in some new gems. That's all I have to say. God
Okay.
bless everybody.
I
Appreciate you,
heard
Miss Hunky
Mr.
Door.
Hunky
Yes,
Door.
sir,
Appreciate you.
Mr. Dory.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to rookie mini camp. And one person I'll keep my eye on is Andrew Ram, the center that we signed from Oklahoma. Okay,
Oklahoma.
because
Yeah.
another position for me of uncertainty is the center position because we got Austin Corbett now moving over to center. Brady Christensen is supposed to be his backup. I want to see what this gentleman can come in and do. Maybe he'll stick around, make the practice squad. And like KJ was saying, Crumedy. Okay. I saw some clips of Crumedy, pushing Andrew Ram like straight back into the quarterback in a senior bowl practice. And he does look like he can hold his ground. And I think that was something we were sorely missing last year. And again, I say maybe it's a situation where we give Shota a little bit of grace. Maybe he needs to get used to the scheme. Maybe he doesn't. Okay. But I do like the pick. I think that he could deal with working on his moves of shedding blocks because I think the power is there with Crumley. I think he has the power. That's not a question. But can he get better at getting off those blocks and getting tackles and getting to the quarterback? Another guy, Willie Drew. Willie Drew, the cornerback from
Yes.
Virginia State.
Virginia
Okay,
State. Yeah.
6 foot cornerback. Yeah, ran a 4.40. He was CIAA Defensive Player of the Year. He was first team All American in Division Two. So he's got a good set of moves. He has great recovery speed. So that's another position that we all want to see more depth at, is the cornerback position. Can he come in and possibly push for a roster spot? Okay. And also the wide receivers, like Tony mentioned, Jalen Coker and Sam Pinckney from Holy Cross and Coastal Carolina. I think that both of them might have a legitimate shot at making the team, making the practice squad, because we do have a couple of players in that wide receiver room that I believe may need a push. Okay, they may need a
Right.
push. They may need some motivation. Now, mind you, that push and that motivation might be enough for them to elevate their game, keep them on the team. But somebody like Jalen Coker, like you said, hey, he has the mindset he's coming to take somebody's spot, and he very well could. Okay, I think he's got that
Yes,
mentality.
sir.
Everybody's talking about his speed. He's got enough speed. Okay, but he run routes. He has great hands. He can get separation. So it's going to be interesting to see, what they're doing. Like Sam Pinckney, they call him the 50-50 guy. He will go up. But if it's a ball in the air, he's coming down with it. And that could be
Yes,
a,
sir.
a
50-50
great
champion.
asset to a young quarterback coming off of a 2-15 season. So you never know. But I'm
And,
I'm
and a
I'm
red zone
excited, and I'm
target.
just ready to see. I'm just ready to
Yeah.
see, basically just what shapes. So we'll
Right.
see what happens. All right.
Hey,
And
yeah.
Flavor
Yeah.
G said 11 interceptions in 2 years. Yes. Yes.
And along with those 11 interceptions that Willie Drew had, he had 23 pass breakups over that 2-year span as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah,
Madden
Isbell.
Smoke said
Yeah,
Isbell is a big
big physical
physical safety that his
safety.
team tackles. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
Sure
think he
is.
started at Illinois State, if I'm not mistaken. He played 3 years at Illinois State, then transferred to Utah, and then transferred to Coastal Carolina.
Okay. Well, all right, everybody. We definitely appreciate y'all joining us tonight. And as always, if you're new, welcome. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate you. On the way out, if you wouldn't mind, hit the like button, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Check us out on all social media at Two Fans in the Stands. And on what we dub as Twix. That's a mixture of Twitter and X. You can check us out at Two Fans
Mhm.
ITS. And everybody up here still on the panel. Y'all got any final thoughts before we get out of here tonight?
Nah,
No,
man.
like I
Appreciate
said
y'all guys
earlier,
for opening
I
up.
want to tell our Panther Nation moms, aunts, sisters, have an early Happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes. Fact.
Facts.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Happy
Kevin.
Mother's Day to everybody out there.
Hey, appreciate y'all guys. I hope to get up with y'all guys pretty soon. I'm always watching the live streams. I'm here. I'm in the comments. If not, on screen with y'all guys. So, hey, I'm in the comments hard.
Yes, sir.
Hey, look, hey, we dropped that link, man. Pull up, dog. Hey,
Hey, I'm
always
Yeah,
definitely
welcome.
pull
pulling
up.
up. I love Panthers talk. Like I said, I'm from Mississippi, but hey, I've been a Panther fan since I've been watching football back. Jake Delhomme, them man. My cousin went to school with D'Angelo Williams. I remember when we drafted him, and
Mm.
man,
Okay.
it was amazing
Yes.
to me. So hey, man, hey, Carolina, man, we gonna keep pounding. Hey, hope to see y'all guys soon.
I think D'Angelo
Appreciate you.
Williams helped put Memphis on the map, dog.
Oh, for sure. D'Angelo, man, I used to go to the games,
Yeah.
man. It was crazy to see bro running at Memphis. Like, I'm talking, man, he was a celebrity at Memphis. I'm talking, man, it was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
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 Hey, hold on. Wait before you go, Tony. Look at this. He said KT is legit gets interpreter.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey,
Oh
anytime
my
you can't
goodness.
understand Leggett, hey, holler at me. I got you.
That is hilarious. Oh my god, that is
That's
hilarious.
crazy.
Tony, final thoughts, cuz.
Hey, man, I just appreciate everybody that's here tonight. Appreciate you guys coming on. Like CJ said, if you're new here, welcome. If you coming back, welcome back. I got tongue tied there for a minute. Go ahead, man. I'm good.
All right, I got you. All right. So if y'all are new, I always like to take us out with 3 things. Okay. Number 1, y'all be good. Number 2, y'all be safe. And number 3, as always, everybody, y'all see the shirt. Keep pounding, man. We out.